Hello students, welcome in today's class. As you can see here, today we are in this chapter cubes and cube roots. This is chapter number 4 and in your book it is chapter number 7, right? And we are in exercise 7.2, right? And two questions. First two questions, that is question number 1 and 2. Sorry, question number first we have already discussed in previous video. I explained most of the parts of question number 1. Of course, there are some parts that I leave on you. You try to solve them, right? And today I am going to explain question number 2 onwards. 2 3 questions are there. So today we'll start with question number 2. And this question is very interesting and very important also. It is based on true or false. It means statements are given there and you have to write whether the given statement is true or false. Also, you have to give your justification why you are thinking that that statement is true or false. You have to justify it. In the support of your answer, you have to write that your recommendations, that is your uh, justification steps you should write there why the statement is true or false, right? So first part is given here, that is cube of an odd number is even. Cube of an odd number is even. You just think about it, take your time and just recall in your mind. Can we say cube of any odd number is even? Just we can check it also. Cube of 1, we know 1. You all know. This is 1 is first odd number, very smallest odd number. After 1 we have 3 as odd number. So cube of 3 we know that it is 27. After that 5 is next and we know that 125 is cube of 5. After that we have 7 and we know that 343, that is 343 is the cube of 7. And after that we have 9 and cube of 9 is, we know that it is 729. Now you can see here we have calculated here cubes of first 5 odd numbers. You can see here, and none of the number is even. All are odd numbers. You can see here every number ends with an odd digit. So all numbers are odd. It means this statement is completely false. It means cube of an odd number is not even. Justification you can see here. I explained you why this statement is false, right? Now let's start second part. Second part is a perfect cube does not end with two zeros. A perfect cube does not ends with two zeros. A perfect cube does not ends with two zeros. See, cube of 10, we know it is 1000, right? Cube of 20, it is 8000. Why I am taking 10 and 20? Because we know that in 10 only we get 0 and the cube of then 10 will contain 0 also. That's why I am taking 10, 20, 30 also we can take. So 27,000. We can also take 50 here. Any of the number you can take here, and we have 1 to 5 followed by 3 zeros. So you can see here none of the cube ends with 2 zeros. They all ends with 3 zeros. That's why it is true. Why it is true? Because does not written there. It means this statement is true. A perfect cube does not ends with 2 zeros. Hope you understand. This is true statement. Does not is written there. Now part number 3. If the square of a number ends with 5, if the square of a number ends with 5, then its cube ends with 25. Then its cube ends with 25. Suppose 5 is there and cube of 5 is 125. Right? And you can check for other numbers also. You can check for 15, for 25, for 35 and any other number which ends with 5. And you will see there some cubes ends with 25 and some not. Right? So we can say here for some cases it is true. For 5 it is true. So we can write here true. Because we can see here for 5, if you are taking cube of 5 ends with 25. So we can consider that this statement is true. But this is not true for every number which ends with 5 and we have their cube with 25. Right? So question 4th part. There is a no perfect cube ends with 8. There is no perfect cube ends with 8. You can see cube of 2 ends with 8. So this is false. Right? Cube of 2 ends with 8. So that's why this statement is false. Because no is written there. There is no perfect cube. It is not true. Yes, there is a cube, perfect cube which ends with 8. Cube of 2 you can write in example. Now question number the 5th part. The cube of a 2-digit number may be a 3-digit number. The cube of a 2-digit number may be of 3-digit number. The cube of 2-digit number may be a 3-digit number. Right? The cube of 2-digit number, as we know that 2-digit number starts from 10. So cube of 10 is 1000. Right? And so we can say that it is true. It is possible. Cube of 2-digit number may be a 3-digit number. It is true. It may be true. Question number 6 now. 6th part. It is cube of 2-digit number may have 7 or more digits. Cube of 2-digit number may have 7 or more than 7 digits. It is totally false because you can see example of 10. Cube of 10 is 1000 and the maximum number from 2 digit is 99, and if you find cube of 99, you will find only 6 digit in that. So we can say that this is totally false, right? Cube of 2-digit number may not be 7 or more digits. One more part is there, that is seventh part, last part of this question. This is the cube of a single digit number may be a single digit number. The cube of a single digit number may be a single digit number. You can see cube of 1, we know that 1, cube of 2, we know that it is 8. So we can say it is true. It may be possible for some cases, that is for 1 and for 2. And cube of 3, we know that it is 27. Here we have 2-digit number. So for 1 and 2, it is true. Hope you understand, guys. So these are the questions that we need to know why these statements are true or false, right? So I explained you each and everything, why these statements are true and why these statements are false, right? Hope you understand all these concepts. Now let's move to another question, that is question number 3rd. Let me rub board first. Okay, now question number 3rd. This question is also very interesting question. Question is, you are told that, I'm writing question here first, you are told that, it means you know that 1331 is a perfect cube. Yes, you know that it is a perfect cube. Can you guess without factorization what is its cube root? Similarly, guess the cube roots of 4913, 12167 and 32768, right? So this question is very interesting, you must know. Question is, you are told that 1331 is a perfect cube. It means you know that it is a perfect cube. Now the question is, without prime factorization, without calculation, how you can say that this number is perfect cube, and whose perfect cube is this number 1331? And similarly, you have to find square cube root of these 3 numbers also, right? So for this one, you need to know cubes of numbers 1 to 10. This is very, very important. In my previous video also, I requested you that you please learn cube root of numbers 1 to 10. If you learn, your calculation become very easy. So let me write first cube of numbers 1 to 10. Cube of 1, we know that it is 1. Cube of 2 is 8. Cube of 3 is 27. Cube of 4 is 64. Cube of 5 is 125. Right? Cube of 6 is 216. Cube of 7 is 343. Cube of 8 is 512. Cube of 9 is 729 and cube of 10 is 1000. So these are the cubes of numbers 1 to 9. First, you need to know cubes of numbers from 1 to 10. This is very important to solve this question. And uh, if you know the cubes of these numbers, you can easily find out without much more calculation what are the cubes of these numbers. So let's start with first number 1331. Although we know that it is perfect cube, but whose cube is this? You can see here last digit in this perfect cube ends with 1, right? So you need to check here whose cube ends with 1. You can see here cube of 1 ends with 1. 1 is coming here only in the cube of 1, right? So it means it may be cube of 1, and we know that cube of 1 is 1, so it is not possible. Now the next number which made up of that unit digit 1, that is 11. This is very simple. The last digit should ends with 1. So after 1, we find 11 is the number whose unit digit ends with 1. So cube of 11. What is cube of 11? It is 1331. You can check it also after multiplication or after a trick. That a trick I already explained you. That trick also you can find. So cube of 11 we have 1330. Right? So 11 is the right answer. So perfect cube root of this number is 11. This is very interesting question. Right? Now this was the first part. Now second part. Second part is this number 4913. Now you can see 4913. Now what is unit digit there? 3. And whose, you can see 7. So cube of 7 ends with unit digit 3. You can see here. This is very simple. So it may be cube of 7. But we know that cube of 7 is 343. Right? Then next number which ends with 7. That is 17. So what is cube of 17? It is 4913. You can check it. The cube of 17 you will find 4913. Hope you understand, guys. So what to do? We need to check whose cube ends with 3. Here we can see cube of 7 ends with 3. So we have to check first for cube 7. Cube 7 we know that it is 343. We already know it. So next number which ends with 7 after 7 is 17. And the cube of 17 is 4913. Right? Now let's check third number 12167. Now what to do? 7, the whose cube ends with 7? You can see here cube of 3. So it may be cube of 3, and we know that cube of 3 is 27. Right? So it is not cube of 3. Now next number that ends with 13 is, 3 is 13. Now cube of 13 is 2197. You can calculate it also. But and next number after that 23, which ends with 3, and cube of 23 is 12,167. So 17 cube is 4913 and 23 cube is 12,163. And what will be the next number which ends with 3? That will be 33, then 43, then 53, then 63. You need to check for cube of these numbers. Then only you can find the answer. Now one more part is there, that is part number 4. 32768. Now 32768, you have to find whose cube root is this. Whose cube is this? This is already cube root. Now what to check? Whose cube ends with 8? So you can see here cube of 2 ends with 8. So it may be cube of 2, that is 8. It's a very small number, so it cannot be. Now then cube of 12 you can check. Cube of 12 is 172928. It is also short. Then cube of 22, now we can check. After 12, the number which ends with 2 is 22. And cube of 22 is 10648. You can check it also. 10,648. And it means this number is also less than this number. So next number that we will found it is 32. So cube of 32, if you will calculate, we get 32,768. So cube of 32 is 32,768. So without much more calculation, we are able to find cube root of these numbers, right? By using simple this trick. This was very interesting one. Now I am going to tell you one trick. With the help of this trick, you can find cube root of any of the number, right? This trick is very important and very interesting also, right? So before applying that trick, you need to learn cube root of the numbers 1 to 10. Then only we can use that trick. In next video, I will explain you that trick. Till then, you need to learn cubes of numbers 1 to 10. This is very important. And also you must know whose cube ends with where. So you can see here, 1's cube ends with 1, cube of 2 ends with 7, 8 sorry, cube of 3 ends with 20, that's 7, cube of 4 ends with 4, cube of 5 ends with 5, cube of 6 ends with 6, cube of 7 ends with 3, 8 ends with 2, 9 ends with 9, 10 ends with 0. So you can see here one rule is there. See, you can see here cube of 4, it ends with 4 also. Cube of 5 also ends with 5. Cube of 6 also ends with 6. Cube of 9 ends with 9. And cube of 10 also ends with 0. So you can see here 4, you can find 4 here also at the last digit. 5, you can find 5 here also. 6, you can find 6. 9, you can find 9. Only you have to learn about these things. Sorry, 1 also. Cube of 1 is ends with 1 also. So 2, you need to learn cube of 2 ends with 8. Cube of 3 ends with 7. Cube of 7 ends with 3. Cube of 8 ends with 2. Now there is one interesting method how we can learn it. This is very simple. You can see here 2 and 8. And what is the sum of 2 and 8? 10. It means the sum should be 10. Each and every case you can find the same rule. Here also 3 and ends with cube ends with 7. So what is sum of 3 and 7? That is 10. What is this 7? Cube of 7 ends with 3. What is sum of 7 and 3? Again 10. And cube of 8 ends with 2. What is sum of 8 and 2? That is 10. So this is very interesting. It means if you know only one digit, suppose I'm talking about 8. So what the cube of 8 ends with? No need to calculate, you just add by which number we should add in this to make 10. So 2. So we can say that cube of 8 will ends with 2. This is very interesting method. So no need to learn whose cube ends at which digit. You only know the sum should be 10. Now I am talking about 7. Where 7's cube will ends. So we need to know if we add 3 in 7 we'll get 10. So we can say that cube of 7 will ends at 3. You can see here also. This is very very interesting that I'm telling you. You can check for any of the number. 9 cube, where 9 cube will ends. We know that if we add 1 in 9, then only we'll have 10. So we can say that the cube of 9 will ends with 1. You can check here. Sorry, cube of 9 will ends with 9 only. Right? So cube of 5 will ends with 5. Thank you so much guys for today's class. All the best.